welcome back to Simply Human with me, Kacey Chong. I don't know what that was. That was so weird. Anyways, bro, like before we get started with today's topic, this past month, dude, I don't know about you guys, but like it has been a struggle. As you can tell, I only have like an AirPod on and I don't have like a headset or whatever. It's because I can't hear myself through my microphone set for some reason. It's super soft, so hopefully the audio is pretty good. It's just a fun time. A thing I want to address. Yes, this is a sock. And yes, this is a washed sock, a clean sock. And you're like, okay, I get it that you have a sock, but like, why do you have a sock on your microphone? Gabriella, I am so glad you asked. The reason why I have a sock on my microphone is because I puh and tuh and suh very irritatingly sometimes when it comes through a microphone, but to prevent it from being too disturbing, I have put this sock on. Let's just get into whatever I'm gonna talk about. For today's topic, I want to talk about normalizing the concept of sex. If you are in any way related to me besides Kyla, please do not watch this. I beg of you. Now that we got that aside, who knows if they'll listen. Sex is a very taboo thing. You obviously don't really talk about it with your parents. It's just not a thing that people like to talk about, but it's a very natural desire for us to have. I think it's really stupid that people view sex in a very negative way. I'm not saying that everyone does, but there's a lot of fucking people, and you know who you are, that do. Let's get on to the tangent. For people that still watch TV, there are a lot of commercials, not as prominent now, in the early 2000s, and probably before. There's this concept of sex sells. So companies love to make sexual innuendos when they're selling the product. I remember I saw this one. It's like these two chicks. Obviously they were like very skinny, very pretty, and they were wearing a bikini top, very short shorts. One of them was grilling like a very barbecued steak, like as in like the barbecue sauce. She like put the sauce on her finger and she just wiped it on herself. I was like, people don't do that, or like they do, but why would you put that in a commercial? Anyways, and then she eats it very like seductively, and like the sauce drips down her face and whatever. And it's like, check out our new Carl's Jr. fucking bacon sandwich with all this shit in it. The fuck? Why, Carl's Jr.? Why did you have to do that? Carl's Jr. is not the only bitch that's been doing this. Skittles is very well known for having very interesting commercials. There was this commercial that was banned. It was a couple, just a married couple. They go right into bed and, you know, they're doing the whatever, and then Skittles I shit you not, you can look this up, Skittles comes out of someone, I forget who, I think it's the woman, maybe it's both, and then it cuts to Skittles taste the rainbow. The fuck, Skittles? We know who you are. We know you're weird. We're gonna continue to eat your candy. You're fine, honey. But the reason why there's this concept of sex sells, because it can be viewed in a very intriguing and also negative way, and it's a tactic that they use so that their customers can remember their commercial, and so they would buy their product or engage in their product in some type of way. It's interesting to know that commercial concept of sex sells is so widely known, and if it's so normal for commercials, for companies to use this, why is this not a normal thing to talk about in real life? You know? So going on to a very stereotypical gender role, if a person is still a virgin at my age or older, they are seen as a prune. It's like, dude, why didn't you get your dick wet yet? Or like, your pussy dry or something? Like, the fuck? I do not discriminate any penises or vaginas or a lack of thereof. Being a virgin can be a choice, and a very respectable choice in some cases. I'll get to that later. Say someone does lose their virginity. So for males, it's widely known to be celebrated. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, my guy, like, you finally lost your V card. And they're on the road of success, of manlyhood. But for women, their stereotypical thing is that they're ashamed. I don't see shame for losing their virginities, but maybe that's just me and the type of people that I surround myself with. But it is still like a stereotype. If a woman does anything sexual, doesn't even have to be her first time, she is seen as a whore, as a slut. To me, I believe that the only person that can call you a slut, the only person that can call you a whore, is yourself. And I don't mean this in a very derogatory way, or I don't mean this in a very self-deprecating way. It's basically claiming the word for yourself. Slut, cunt, whore are all things to shame people, especially women. But we need to reclaim that, and we are reclaiming that, I believe, by embracing. I'm so secure in my sexuality that I embrace that I am a very sexual human being. I like to have sex. I like to engage in sexual pleasure. So yeah, I'm a fucking slut, bitch, and you can suck my dick. For some fucking reason, I have no idea why, in the past 2 years, I have been a lot more open about my sex life to people, but mostly my friends and people that I trust. And it's not something to show off or like, it's like, yeah, I had sex with this many people or whatever. It's like, sis, that don't mean shit. Oh, a body count does not define someone's sex experience. And I say this because as someone that has a relatively high body count, that doesn't mean that I'm like super kinky. That doesn't mean that I'm into BDSM. Doesn't mean I like to do 50 Shades of Grey shit, because I don't. It just means that I've expressed myself through different people, and that was my choice. And you know, I usually do the same shit every fucking time. I'm a dude, dog, missionary, and that's fucking it, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that is basically all it is done. Anyways, going back to bringing it into the conversation, I talk about it so that other people can feel comfortable, since I'm putting myself in a relatively vulnerable place. I want them to feel open to ask me questions or talk about what their experiences is, and I want us to be able to talk about our sexuality. I want us to be able to talk to each other in a very safe space about things that we like, things that we don't like, and share experiences, what to do, what not to do. Because you talk about life like that, we are taught how to get a job, how to write a resume, and how to live life. And we have conversations about relationships, but we need to talk more about the intimate part, I believe. I know it's not the most universal conversation that you can just run into. Whether you have had sex or not, I feel like it should still be a relevant thing to talk about since it's highly desired. The first few times that I brought up my sex life to my friends, they were either surprised and or disgusted. And I respect that. I was not really a sexual person in high school. No one really knew what I did. I grew up in a very Catholic community, aka I went to Catholic school. I'm pretty sure I said this a billion times, but it was a very taboo thing. That's why I wanted to go to a public school college, and I have achieved that, yes. I'm glad that I did, because now we talk about it more often, and it's not weird, it's not gross, it's not frowned upon, it's embraced, and we can learn things. And I'm really happy that we're able to be more comfortable and not feel like, oh, we shouldn't do it because I can't tell my friends about it, even though I want to do it. It's like, dude, just do it, like, experience it. I'm here for you. Just don't get preggy, okay? And the people that I start conversations with isn't just women. I also ask males about what they like and their experiences, because I'm a female and I only know, what I feel, what I experience, but I have no idea how they feel, what they like, what they don't like, and how they experience things. It should be a more normalized thing to not only talk about it to your own, I don't want to say your own gender, because that's a whole another conversation, but with your type of people. I'm just gonna say that we should not only talk about it to our type of people, but we should talk about it to everyone, because everyone has different experiences. Speaking about gender, there's different types of people that identify with different things and different sexualities. So it's just, there's so much to talk about, and I know so little. Like, you may think like I'm a woke ass bitch or whatever, or maybe you don't. That's cool too. But I feel like I want to learn so much more. Oh, off topic ish. I'm in a women's studies class. Even though I hate reading and I should be reading, I just don't have time. Anyways, my women's studies class, oh my god, the best class I will take till this day. Besides Hawaiian studies, I will always love that class as well. But women's studies, I'm learning so much. And we don't just talk about women, because being a feminist, okay, I'm going to talk about this later about being feminist and whatever in a different episode. But basically, I like this class because being a feminist is not just involving women, it's involving everyone in every community. Because being a woman, in my experiences with the patriarchy, doesn't just affect me as an Asian woman, it affects African Americans of all genders. It affects people of different sexualities, different genders, different class systems. It affects everyone. We have to look out for each other, and if we stay separated, then the patriarchy will always win. But anyways, going back to the sex. I don't know why I said it like that. It's like, let's go back to sex. You only know so much yourself, so you have to not learn about things from different types of people. Oh, another thing. I remember when I went to California, I was getting to know my roommates, I was getting to know my neighbors, and they were saying like, oh yeah, like I watch porn. Like the guys were like, yeah, what kind of porn do you watch? To like so the collective guys were talking about like what kind of porn they watch and like whatever. And then I was like, oh yeah, and like I watch that too. And they're like, you watch porn? And I was like, yeah, like why wouldn't I? He's like, I didn't know girls watch porn. I have genitals too, motherfucker. Like, the fuck? Have you never heard of like a vibrator before, or like a dildo? We don't just please ourselves with our imaginations. I had to look at something in order for my imagination to start. Whatever. But if you want to watch fucking porn, watch porn. Obviously, don't be obsessed with it. I mean, it's kind of hard for like quarantine or whatever, but you can watch porn. And I know there's like this stigma of like, oh, we shouldn't be supporting porn because a lot of it is very harsh, very brutal. Sometimes they film rape victims and they get millions of views, and it's just exploiting people in a very negative way. Most people that say this don't watch porn. They watch the news about porn. So, I mean, I'm not gonna deny that that's not on the internet. That's something I've ever seen. I've seen it. It's very sexualized. In Japanese women, there's so many fucking videos. There's so many videos of a Japanese girl in the bus, and she's just trying to go home, and then there's this fucking old ass guy that's like feeling up on her or whatever, and just like fucking her, even though there's like people in every fucking inch of their surroundings. Wait, that sucks. It looks very staged, but some of it's not staged. There's sadly shit like that out there, but not everything is like that, you know? And I'm very proud that I'm open about my sex life, and because I was raised Catholic. For the billionth time, I was raised Catholic. The only thing that we were ingrained in our brains is that we shouldn't do it because we're giving into lust, and the only purpose of sex is to be fruitful. If you don't know what that means, the only purpose of sex is to create a human being. But fucking Catholic school sex education is shit. I mean, not obviously, but like sadly it is obvious. So the only thing that I remember watching is abortion is wrong, the stages of life of a baby inside a pregnant woman, the different STDs and STIs that you can get, but not how you can tell if you have them, which yeah. And just to not have sex, like, and it's like, okay, so I can't have sex unless I'm married. So say I get married, how the fuck am I supposed to know how to have sex? Cause you didn't teach me, motherfucker. How am I supposed to be fruitful if I don't know how to do it correctly? Dumb bitch. Anyways, I feel like all around education should be like the Netflix show Sex Education, which has 2 seasons. Warning, it is very graphic. It is very, very graphic, very intense. I recommend you watching it by yourselves or people that you trust, because that show is literally sex education. It doesn't just talk about heterosexual sex. It talks about pleasure in all types of bodies, all types of sexualities. It talks about sexuality because it's so cool. Honestly, it's just these bunch of high schoolers, and one of them, I fucking forget his name, but one of the main character, his mom is a sex therapist. She's always talking about sex. In season 2, spoiler alert, she is kind of hired by the school that he goes to, because this school, everybody's having sex everywhere, anywhere, and with anyone. So it's like, okay, so these motherfuckers are gonna fuck each other no matter what. Might as well have someone to tell them how to do it correctly and safely. And that's what we need in the education system. If you're gonna tell, I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate about fucking fixing this education system, but also just learning about sex, dude. Just talk about it. Just talk. Just fucking talk about it, dude. Literally, what is the worst thing that could happen if you brought it up to your friends? Are you fucking slut, bitch? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, and what? I know you fucking watch porn too, or touch a little hoo-ha once in a while. Going back on the whole fruitful shit. If sex was only fruitful, why is it the most natural desire that we have? Sex is so highly desired, you know? It's in commercials, it's in TV shows, it's in so many TV shows and so many movies. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. They might justify it as, oh, you know, it can become an addiction, like alcohol, weed, cocaine, heroin, caffeine, whatever. Okay, yes, but one, it's fucking natural. We're not, well, also weed, but that's another that's another story, maybe for later. But as humans, as like two physical beings that are both Homo sapiens, the thing that we desire, that we can share together, is sex. Without any of these chemicals, any of these other herbs or whatever coming into our system, is literally sensations. Holding someone's hand, hugging someone, kissing someone, putting your hand through someone's hair or lack of thereof, putting your hand on someone's thigh, like, oh, I live for that shit. It's so I don't know about y'all, I don't know about you, but I love physical touch. If you didn't already know, just like being held by someone. It doesn't even have to be someone intimate. Be a family member, be a friend, be a stranger. Well, maybe not now, once everyone gets the shot. Maybe. It's so meaningful, and it can do so much. I'm not saying everyone's like this, but I can be fucking crying, having the worst day ever. Someone stole my dog or something, I don't know, and I'm just like crying, and you can tell me like I'm gonna help you find your dog, I'm gonna do as much as possible to get your dog back, and you know I'm here for you and I will be here for you. That's nice, but to be physically held is also really nice. And when words don't do justice, action does. Sensational action. Physical touch is my love language. Honestly, at the end of the day, if you want to have sex, have sex. Do it safely. You know? Put a condom on. Get checked. Oh, I'm gonna go on a small tangent. Why don't guys have gynecologists? I mean, not gynecologists, but like, why don't they have to go get their whatever's checked every year or every 6 months? Also, why the fuck do girls have to take the birth control? Why do I have to get a Nexplanon? I don't have one. I want one. Like, why the fuck do I have that? They're the ones that have the fucking... that's gonna... you know? They're the ones in control. Like, if their shit didn't work, we would be fine. But it works. Deactivate their shit. Why the fuck do I have to compensate? I'm just here. Their little shits make the thing appear. Anyways, if you want to have sex, have sex. If you don't want to have sex, don't have sex. Just don't let a book tell you what to do if you don't want to follow it exactly. Basically, do what you want to do, motherfucker. That's the quote of the day. Do what you want to do, motherfucker. My dudes, we just have to normalize sex. And there's so many things that I haven't covered about the different types of sex and whatever, and I'm not a professor, so I don't really know how to like say anything, but I know there's a lot of different ways of people that find pleasure. It's not just genitalia, like I said, it's like other things and whatever. You do you. Do it safe. Do it right. If you don't know how to do it right, just fucking look it up. Look it up. That's what we do for everything else. Why not do it with this? If you're on YouTube, give it a like. And if you didn't, you know what? Give it a thumbs down. At least I know someone watched this. And please share this to everyone and anyone but the people that are related to me besides my cousin. You can share it with Kyla. Hi. And dude, like, let me know what I should talk about next. If you're on Spotify or any just audio thing, text me, DM me. Tell me how this shit went, because I never know how I'm doing. But yeah, share it in every platform, dude. Like, repost it. And I hope you like this episode, and I will see and talk to you guys next time.